Welcome to Erica Vision. We are doing our 1 year later video, and a lot of things have changed. We're now a family of three. He's a very dignified pup, and his name is Mr. Noodle. So, let's start our video. Okay, so let's start out with the obvious here. We have Mr. Noodle. He is our little rescue baby. He's our noodle. And he is a sweet little pup, and we are so grateful to have him. He is a 2-year-old Shih Tzu who is part bloodhound, I swear, because every time we take him for a walk, he got his nose to the ground. And so, like I said, his name is Mr. Noodle. You've probably seen some of our shorts of him just being himself. As you can see, he's making his debut on the channel. His official debut. You can see him when he first found his home with us in the video where we did the tour of the new camper. So we're going to get into a few things we've done, a few places we've been, a few things we've learned, and some other things that are different since the last time you've seen us. So first things first, we had the experience of driving out west. And so as you can see, I'm sick, so please excuse the constant sniffing. But driving out west was an awesome thing. It was a lot of landscape. It was very beautiful, and if you haven't had a chance, you could check out some of the videos we've done going through New Mexico, going through Texas, going to White Sands. All that was awesome in California, Joshua Tree, all those places. And so, honey, out of going, what was one of your favorite places going out there?
Going out?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I got actually a couple of good ones, but for the most part, I would say probably the stop at Patagonia Lake.
Really?
I really enjoyed Patagonia Lake just simply because it had water nearby. The sites were fairly decent, and they were all, like a concrete pad. Especially for learning, I was able to back right in.
The crazy part about that, you guys, we did not do a video at all of Patagonia Lake, and that is the very one he likes. And no misconception. Oh, cough drops. So sorry. I'm trying to do this without coughing and being ridiculous. The crazy part about that, we learned, I was like, when we first heard of the park, I was like, is that Patagonia Lake, like the closed Patagonia? And they were like, no, that's somewhere in South America. So yeah, there you go. So I would have to say, as our trip got on the way and we actually started like doing things, Joshua Tree was my favorite. Even though it was something we filmed over like 2 days, I still would say hands down, going on the stops we made, that was one of my favorites. I loved White Sands, but we didn't get a chance to spend like a lot of time there or exploring. So going to Joshua Tree, we got a chance to camp in the national park, which was our first time doing that at any national park. So that was super cool.
Yeah, I would have to say that would probably be like my second choice. I actually forgot about that one, but White Sands was on the way too, huh?
Yeah, White Sands was in New Mexico, out of all places. And we boondocked right outside of there. So I have some pictures that I took of the sunset and the morning sunrise, of being right outside. And it was like an Air Force Base space that they allowed people to boondock on. And it was really cool. It was right outside of White Sands. So that's a place you can think about going that is free, and you can enjoy the national park. And if you have the national park pass, then it's like a free little getaway. But Joshua Tree was my favorite just because it had the multiple stops. It was a lot of different things to see. You had an amazing night sky. Now, my only drawback is they only have one camping area with electricity and they stay pretty booked. So everything else is like boondocking spaces. And with the boondocking spaces, you have to use the generator. And then, like everything, it has a quiet hour. So, other than that, it's like a playground for adults.
But I would say too, on the drawback, well, on the positive side of that, is running the generator because of how the spots are set up between these really huge boulders. I would definitely say that you can kind of hide the generator a little bit, and if you got a longer cord, it's really not a problem. But if you got a self-sustaining rig that you kind of just using the generator to keep the batteries kind of charged for a little while, which we did, and I think you could turn it off and still be okay with not using the generator for a day or two. And depending on how long you stay, then you can fire it up every now and then. But Joshua Tree definitely was fun to be able to climb all over the rocks.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, it's California, it's the summertime, it's hot. At night, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, the desert gets pretty cool at nighttime. So it's not like blazing hot 24 hours a day. It's hot during the day and then cool at night. So even at night, you can kind of open the windows and you get a cross breeze and you'll be totally fine if you had to go that route. But as everybody know, we were camping in our old camper, the one we got at an RV show last year this time. And we are sitting at a brand new camper that we were able to buy cash. So we upgraded, so we have more space. You could check out that video as well. So we now, it feels more like home versus an endless camping trip. So the other video will show you the inside and what we've done to it and what it looks like, because I start on the outside and then we make our way inside.
Yeah, we could get into a whole lot of things together in one video about this particular RV. But again, it's already kind of been done, so make sure you guys go check out the link to that video as well. But it definitely does have a homey feel.
Yes.
With not only just the things that we had in Journey, but also the things like the corkboard and all of those decorations and stuff like that.
And if you, one little tidbit, if you are looking to decorate, decorate or come up with some ideas for decorating your RV and you want lightweight stuff, go to IKEA, because that's usually what we do. IKEA is very lightweight furniture. Lightweight furniture, and it's not heavy, so it's not going to add a lot of weight to your rig to put you like over capacity. So
I agree.
It has like a lot of little knickknacks, and if you like stuff with plenty of color, you can go and pick up stuff. And we always hit at IKEA every time we're close by or
in
your
the local
area.
Goodwill too, guys.
Don't
forget about Goodwill. We found some pretty nice little trinkets to kind of go inside the basket on the side of the door that we use for Mr. Noodle, for all of his goodies and treats and dog food and stuff like that.
And also our little shelf here behind us, this hole in all of our little greenery that I can't kill. We got this from Goodwill and it was like $3, so I really do love that. Once we started out, the summer hit, we started work camping. That was an experience, and it was positive and negative. So the positive side of working was you got a chance to meet people passing through from all different places, even other countries. So that was super cool. You got a chance to get to know people, other work camping people, and that was nice. And you make a little money. You don't get rich, but you make a little something. And they were really good about giving us time to be able to go and explore things around us. But where we were wasn't much. Like it was a day's drive to get to anywhere worth going to see something. And so Ely had its own charms, but you could only explore so much. It's one of those little places that once you get to the center of town, you go left, you go right, you're in another town. It's really quick and in and out. And so for me, that was the positives, or really just getting a chance to meet new people and see where other people have been and where they're headed. And just being on the West Coast, we've never lived on the West Coast, and so we had the opportunity to like actually live in Nevada.
For
And
6 months.
yeah, and so we were where the desert meets the mountains. So we weren't like in the desert. When you think of Nevada, you think of really hot. We were more in the mountainous part, right on the border, the edge of Utah, about 3 hours from Utah. So you could check out some of our other videos where we got a chance to explore Salt Lake City, and we went to St. George and some other places in Utah. And so that was really cool, and I really did enjoy that. Anything you enjoyed positive about work camping?
I enjoyed a lot of things positive about work camping. Having a total different experience from Erica. I'll say for me, it was just unplugging and being somewhere that was so desolate that only TV service you can get is the one back in the days.
Yeah.
Million Dollar Man, just to name one.
On Saturday
You
night
know,
of all times,
and
Saturday night was
right,
Million Dollar
right.
Man.
So it's like, for me, being outside more, kind of chopping wood, doing manly things, organizing the garage space.
Therapeutic things.
Well, I would say definitely, yeah, definitely that.
Because there be some women out there slinging axes, man. I'm
They
telling
really
you.
do. And actually, shout out to one girl that we used to work, well, a young lady that we used to work with, Renee, at the campsite or the work camp area that we were at. She came through one day and actually split a piece of wood. So that is very true, what she said. But, not only that, but just the charm of what Ely had to offer. I mean, it wasn't what we were normally used to.
It was definitely, I would have to say, a surprise. Because when
Especially
we
waking up the
landed,
next day, yeah.
when we landed in Ely, it was dark. And we came through Humboldt Forest, which was an adventure of its own because it was a mountainous road that went up and then you came down on the other side. Now, when you go through the daytime, it's less scary. But at night, when you have no clue where you're going, and Ely is also one of those places that if you pass a gas station, fill up. Because you don't know when the next one is going to come, right?
And being my first time towing, I mean, that was because I think at that point we haven't really hit any real mountainous areas like that. Not as far as the elevation.
Well, on the way back, we hit some serious elevation.
Yeah, we did.
But it was cool, and it was a lot of fun. We've been through elevation before, but not towing, like you said. And they only have one grocery store. So if you love Walmart and Target, then that's not for you. They have 2 Family Dollars, and you learn to make do with what Family Dollar has. And like he said, it
quickly
really
became my favorite store there too.
Well, it was the go-to. It's the only place you could go
like
to.
2 of them to choose from.
And an Ace Hardware, which was ridiculously priced because they were like the only one in 3 hours away. But like he said, it was definitely a place where you could forget there's a world outside of Ely.
You
like,
could.
And the sunsets were absolutely beautiful. We had a view of the mountains, so every evening it was like a purplish red, or the sky would just be this crazy blue. It was really awesome to see the sunsets in the
Double
evening.
Rainbows
Yeah,
all the time.
and then if you go the other way, you got another national park, which is Great Basin, and that was I'd say about 45 minutes to an hour away, depending on how you drive. And that was super cool. We used to just go there just to relax, just to sit in the woods.
We actually went there twice. Not places that we've been to, whether we were in the area or just decided to book more than one day at a particular place. But I will say, when we went to Great Basin, we went back at kind of 2 times of the year.
I did a video both times, so you can check those out.
Those are really great
Excuse me,
times
guys.
to kind of go. I would prefer to go if you look at Eric's
The
video,
first one.
I would rather the first time
When the mountains are snow-capped.
it is something to
It
see.
is. Okay, now with that, we went and it was like May, maybe June.
I think so.
May 1st of June, and there was still with snow on the ground. We went again and it was like August, And the mountains just look completely different.
Yeah.
It looks better with the snow. The snow gives it a little ambiance. But because of the high elevation, because you can get up to 14,000 feet elevation up there, the roads get closed really quick because of the accumulation of the snow and the ice and stuff up there. So it's just things to think about. And they got some caves up there too. So they do this little cave tour. And we had the opportunity to do that, but we didn't end up doing it. But maybe if we swing back around this time this year, we'll get a chance to check it out.
Needless to say, it's a place that if we are ever in the area and we could camp there, especially at Willis Peak, because I think they had like some renovations going on at the time when we were
Yeah,
there.
at that was at the state park. I can't think of the name of it right now. Cave Lake.
No, I mean at Great Basin. Willis Peak was.
Oh no, they were done. Remember, they had closed it and then for the season, and then they opened it back up because we got a chance to take the loop around, the drive around.
Yeah, that's right.
It was Cave Lake that was closed for renovation because they were doing something to the dam. But that was another state park that they had there that was super cool, which was Cave Lake, and we didn't even know they had RV campsites like that there. So Ely is really, really cool. It is a great place if you pass it through. There's a lot of public land places you can stop and stay for the night. They have a lot of national forest spots that you can stop and stay for the night. And it was a wonderful experience. Now, as far as working, I don't want to do that. And I don't want to do that right out the gate. I think had we had the opportunity to actually immerse ourselves in RV life, as in being able to travel and go and see and then work, it would have been more fun to kind of settle down.
Now, me personally, I would say if we probably had like this type of setup, and because I don't think you guys seen yet in a particular video of the slide outs or the slide in. I mean, because you can almost still access, well, you can access everything. It's pretty much like the old trailer setup, but this one just got a little bit bigger space. But I will say, this setup and some of the places that we've been and stayed would probably have made it a little bit more comfortable.
It would have a lot.
Because Journey seemed like more work than it did. You know, when you get to enjoy yourself with this trailer, you can hitch it up, even though it uses a different hitch system. You can hook this trailer up pretty fast, and that's what I like about it, because it feels like home, and it's just one of those things that, you know, everything on it just make living in it a whole lot easier.
It's one of those places where when you close the door, yeah, it's a small space, but it feels homely. Where Journey really felt like an endless camping trip that we just made it work, right? So there's a difference. We loved her. She was our first camper.
Yeah.
You know, we've had some wonderful experience in her. It was bittersweet to switch her out, but I am way happier with what we have now.
I agree.
Than with her. Not that we were unhappy with her. This is just a better layout if you're planning on living full time. Yeah. We even have a stove now. We didn't realize how much we miss making pizza.
And at the RV show, we had an option to say yay or nay on that particular item or appliance. But we decided that, we don't need it. We can do away with, not having an oven.
I really wanted an oven.
Well, we did try to get it inside.
I really wanted one. I wanted him to try, but I don't think he tried as hard as he was trying to make us think he tried.
I agree with that.
But, okay, so one of the things that work camping I didn't like. And when you think about work camping, when you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, right? It's your job, you're working. When you think work camping, in my mind, I wasn't thinking exactly like work as in Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, which is almost exactly the definition of work camping. It was like being up at 6, got to be at work at 7, and you're there to 3:30, sometimes 4 o'clock, depending on how busy we are. And you're working 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and I did not like that. I wasn't looking to leave a full-time job to go to a full-time job and make a fraction of what I was making when I left. So that's the only drawback for me, that work camping was work, and you camped while you were there. For me, I think once I get the traveling bug out of my system, then maybe it won't be so bad. At first I wasn't even open to camp hosting, and now I am, because it's a little less involved, and it's not as demanding on your time. You still get a free site, you just don't get paid. But it's okay at this point in our lives. That way we can kind of dictate how long we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Where when you do work camping, you sign up for an assignment. They kind of want you there for like 6 months, for the whole camping season. So the drawback on that is you miss out on camping season, right? You don't get a chance to go and camp. And by the time you hitch up your house and get where you're going, that's a whole day, right? And then you spend one day exploring, and you done drove 4 or 5 hours to get there, and then the next day hitching up, packing up, securing everything, and then driving to get back to secure everything and get ready for work. It's not really a break, let me tell you. I mean, and we did that. We were like cramming stuff in on the weekend, trying to go places and do stuff, and people were looking at us like, y'all packing up the house too? We're like, yeah, this is where we live, we gotta take it. And so that was one of the drawbacks of work camping. When you commit to that, you're committing to their camping season, not to your availability. Your availability needs to be what they need for camping. And usually it starts, if you're going out west, April, into April, 1st of May, and it ends in October, almost November, like October 15th or the 20th or something like that. So you are committing to working like a 9 to 5, however physical the job you say I want to do. So if you said, just keep in mind, if you pick a housekeeping job and they have like 12 cabins and 4 bathrooms and all that kind of stuff, you're saying, I'm committing to you for 6 months to do this work every single day that I'm scheduled. So that might be 4 days a week, 5 days a week. It's not a terrible thing. I'm just saying, thinking about it realistically, you're giving up your summer to work for them so the campground can have a good summer and be fully staffed.
And I think, simply put, the bigger the campground, the more the work.
Yes. Well,
I would say, because we
went
to Cortez didn't seem like something, if you were on the maintenance side of things, that you had to maintain a lot. But however, Ely, Nevada, at the KOA journey, there were a lot of things to maintain, because it's more Western, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the smaller, the more hats they want you to wear. So the more busy you are, the bigger they are, the more people they know the only reason why I say that is because if you have a big campground, and Ely is like not the biggest, but it was medium, right? If you don't have enough staff, then you overexert the staff you have, right? You burn them out because they're wearing lots of hats and they're trying to do this on one day and do that on another day, and they work at 5 and 6 days straight. It burns people out, right? And then they can't wait to leave at the end. And so the bigger ones have more staff because it takes more to run it. And they know they can't do it on a small staff because they will burn it out, or they get bad reviews, or something will go lacking. Right. So I think the smaller it is, the more hats they want you to wear, depending on what kind of campgrounds it is. If it's a KOA and it's a really busy one, but it's a small one, you're going to be wearing multiple hats.
I agree with that, because
right?
the people at
Cortez, it was a privately owned, right? Yeah. And it wasn't in a tourist trap place. It was right outside of
Mesa Verde.
Yeah, Mesa Verde National Park. But Mesa Verde National Park sucks.
Are you serious?
Yes. It is just a giant drive-through.
Wow.
Okay.
See, that's where we disagree.
I'm not going to say it sucks.
I really like that one.
I'm going to say I I would not go there a second time. I think the first time was good enough.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
go
do it
back. I wouldn't
again.
go back again. But I mean, for what it was, I think whatever, because it is like a drive-through. The very last part, which was the cliff dwellings, that was.
Yeah, at
I
the
think if I
end,
think if that was before,
everybody
nobody
would
would
turn
never
around and
go.
go
Nope,
back.
so it's
It
like that's the best part of it, and we made it to that point.
Yes,
The
because
burn down
it's
part
like
of it,
you
what we
gotta
saw,
see something.
the burn ruins, that was pretty cool because I never
Halfway
seen.
through it, it starts to pick up, but okay. It's very educational. It has the you learn a lot about the Native Americans, right?
Yeah,
And that's cool. That is the cool part of it. But it's a lot of driving, right? You're forever driving, and then the next stop is just a pull off.
it's overlooked to see a different view. I
Yeah, and
think
I'm
if
like,
you look for views at a different height elevation that you never seen before in your life, they were pretty
but it was
spectacular.
the
But
same
that's what it is
view. It was the same flowers on the same. You were just going up a higher place to see the same view. It
from a
was,
different side.
yes, but it was the same grass, the same flowers, the same landscape. Just now you're looking on the other side. I just wouldn't go there again. I got my stamp.
Well, when we started to see that, that was the kind of layout that it was. Some places we didn't stop every one because we just saw that it was an overlook anyway, and it said it on the sign.
Yeah.
So we just kind of kept
I
going.
guess I was just a little disappointed. I was when you go to national park. We had been to other national parks that were like, wow, like just
Zion, to name one.
breathtaking. Wow, you don't even get into the Tetons, and you can see them soon as you turn the corner, and it's
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah.
Then you go and you pass by the Rockies, and it's hard to see from from Colorado. I mean, from the Denver Expressway, but you see it, and it's like, wow. Then you go out to Bryce Canyon or Zion, and every corner is like, oh my goodness, the mountains are so majestic, and it's absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. And then you go to, I can't even say it right, Mercer Verde or
Mesa
Verde, yeah, and it's like, oh, another hill, oh, more grass, oh, finally we get into something. Oh, you can't touch it. Okay, so like he said, it wasn't till the end. It was and where you get a chance to see like some really cool things, and even then you have to take the tour to get close
Yeah.
to be able to see it. So I won't say it sucks. I would just say that's not a place I would visit a second time. I was good with the first time, and pretty much that's it. And so that was my only down thing about work camping is that it pretty much eats up your summer. Now, a lot of people who were doing it were people at the time like us needed to keep working, or they've already traveled and they were just getting out of the heat in California and Nevada, so they were coming up north, or they just wanted something to do. They were retired, and they've done all their traveling and they really liked the area, so they were just dropping anchor and they didn't mind it. Like I said, had we had the opportunity to really just kind of bum around the United States and check it out and get tired of it, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even get a chance to get tired of it. Our travel was to get there and to get back. And so this summer, we're hoping to have the Summer of George, where we are able to like really bring you guys some fantastic views and stuff. And so I'm really excited about this year. So as far as work camping is concerned, have I closed the door on that? Absolutely not. But at the same time, it's like I would like to have that sabbatical where we could just take a break, kind of slow down, where I could sit on my couch and drink my coffee and stroke my dog and read my Bible before, and not have to be jumping out of bed, trying to get a shower real fast, trying to get dressed because I got to open the store today. I'm working by myself. I'm there till 3:30 till somebody comes in and counting tills and stocking shelves, and I'm just not interested in doing that right now, especially since I've been working on my mental health. So it'll just give me an opportunity to kind of I just need a break. And so I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with work camping, and there's a lot of people that love it and do a great job. It's just that I am looking for just a little bit of a break, a little bit of a reprieve.
Speaking from
I wish I
my
had some tissue. My nose. Y'all can't see. It's disgusting. My nose is about to run.
speaking from
I can feel it rolling down my face.
I would say speaking from I wouldn't call it really just
Noodle, go
negative,
get me a
but
tissue.
maybe like the con side of work camping for me was, doing maintenance kind of really became a lot harder than I really signed up for. I never really got a chance to really enjoy because I felt like the little times that we did take the Antelope Island trips or
Oh,
the
that was
Bonneville
fun.
Salt Flat trips, I felt like I'm either picking up the generator or sitting it down, sorry noodle. And
Mm.
it's just one of those things where it just felt like constant continuous work for an entire year for me. And so I would definitely like to just kind of slow down and just really, like you say, just travel and enjoy places without worrying about having to take care of really somebody else's place right now. Because I did have times where I enjoyed doing that,
Me
and I
too.
think that's the reason why we got great reviews mentioning us personally because we cared about what we were doing. And there were some
You
great
sleepy
people that we
boy.
met in the transition of being in that particular spot. And some people I don't think I ever forget, And I celebrated my 42nd birthday with almost 20 total strangers that I didn't know, but we all became friends. And so that was fun for me. But other than that, I would just say, I don't want to really work like that anymore because I was like 4 feet digging pipelines,
Yeah.
using trailers, tractors, and backhoes and stuff like
Why
that.
Cedric runs to get me a paper towel real fast so I don't be a snotty mess. We're going to move on to from work camping to our way back.
Sounds good.
Okay. So on our way
Excuse me.
back, we got a chance to meet some really awesome people. I always wanted to do some night photography, and I got a chance to learn how to do that. And shout out to Alex, who is the bestest. Alice, thank you, honey. 1 second. Okay, you guys, sorry about that. We take a tiny little break. I didn't want to blow my nose into the mic, and you're like, oh my goodness. And now we're back. We're missing Noodle. He sucks. He's always asleep. So he said, oh, break? Okay, I'm going to bed. So, oh, excuse me. All right, so on the way back, like I was saying, we met a fantastic couple. And we went night hiking. You can check out that video as well. And I got a chance to learn something I've always wanted to know how to do, and that is Milky Way shooting. That is one of the things that I can't explain to you. The natural beauty and phenomenon that is to see the actual Milky Way. I had never seen that before in my life. I've lived on the East Coast my whole entire life, and I had never seen that before. And so learning how to shoot the Milky Way was one of those things that I was like, oh my goodness. And when I got a chance to edit it and see the stars, uh, breathtaking. Now, I've lived over in this side. I've never seen that. I've always lived in the city. It's not something you could see if you live in the city because of all the light pollution. But it is definitely something that you can see if you're in the desert or someplace that's not heavily populated with light. And very prominent on the West Coast. And I absolutely love that. Excuse me. Excuse me. And so, we did some hiking through some gorges. We went to Zion National Park.
The gorges, I don't think we really
Come on, baby.
did like a more in-depth video of the gorges, but that was pretty freaking cool, guys. Like, when we saw that for the very first time, it was on the way to St. George, but I will never forget that place because
Shout out to Robitussin.
next to Joshua Tree,
Yes.
that was like the next best
Who's Zion?
adult. Well, no, the Cathedral Gorge.
Oh,
That
yes.
was like the world's, or what we call at the time, the adult playground And that was like the next. Well, I felt like in there we were playing inside of the Earth core.
Okay, now don't be in there when it rains.
Yeah, don't
You're
definitely
straight.
be in there when it rains.
You'll drown.
Or at nighttime, which I can't even believe that we did that with Alex and them. And I think that's what made our friendship so good.
That was the coolest
It
thing.
really was.
Okay, and Alex plays too much. He went up in the top and he's like, guys, I think I found a coyote den. And I was like, he is honestly trying to be out here by himself.
Yeah, that was fun.
But that was fun. And then the next day, they kind of showed us how to get into the gorges. And so, yeah, there's some extreme cats. And so, yes, that was... I would love to go back there and spend a day hiking through there and do like a real video on that. Because I think we just scratched the surface, because that wasn't really our destination. Like, we were just staying at that park for the night, and then we ended up going in there during that morning. But we had to get to St. George, so we had, we cut our video short and left, had to go. Because moving on to St. George, we ended up staying in Hurricane, Utah. And Hurricane is right outside of Zion National Park. Honey, you getting out of the frame. So it's right outside of Zion National Park. And it is a boondocking space. And I got pins for all these places. So if any of these places we're talking about you're interested and you're out traveling and you'd like to know where they are, just drop me a comment below and I will drop you the pins for the coordinates and you can camp there. Now, this particular place is right outside of Zion, and when you think boondock, you think middle of nowhere, and it kind of is, but not really, because it's like right behind an actual neighborhood. Now, once you get behind the neighborhood, yeah, it looks like you're in the middle of nowhere. The highway looks like ants, but you have neighbors.
The drive from the highway is really long, and you kind of back up in there, but it definitely is a lot of people.
But you're not alone. I can tell you that. You're not by yourself. And you have a little station where you can get a map and it'll show you what are tent sites versus what are RV sites. And you can stay up to 14 days and maybe even longer if you don't look like you've been living there forever. Like, there's nobody driving through there saying, okay, how long have you guys been here? Okay, you gotta go.
Right.
But there was plenty of people out there, and it was enough space to where you could have your own little space without somebody being on top of you. Right? And so that was super cool. And it made it possible for us to visit Zion National Park without having to pay to, be closer, like at a campground or a campsite, which they do have their own campgrounds.
We actually faced the trailer that way towards Zion, so when we came out on what we call the fun side in the RV community, it was actually facing that direction.
I got some pretty awesome evening sunsets and some night sky views of the Milky Way, so that was super cool. And then when you go into Zion, you're coming in on the south side, and the drive is amazing. It is absolutely... Every twist and turn is majestic mountains, and it is awesome. Now, one of the things I regret doing when we were there is not taking a hike, or like hiking the Narrows. You can see videos people have done on that. It is really awesome and really cool, but you can only go at certain times, because if you go during their little rainy season, the water levels rise and then it's closed. They don't want you hiking it, they don't want you to drown. And so it would have been nice to be able to just say we did it. We went there and we took one of the hikes. So maybe, never know, we might be able to go back and do it or whatnot. Look at who wants to be on camera. He's so darn cute. Yes, you are, Noodle Doodle. You're the cutest. Okay.
Zion, matter of fact, do you even know the name of the area where we boondocked at outside of Hurricane?
It is. That's the name, Hurricane.
Hurricane. Okay,
yeah.
Well, that particular spot
Sorry,
was
guys.
the only time it was so relaxing. It was the only time that we've ever camped with the front door open.
No, that's at Lone Star.
Lone
Star
right,
Campground.
Lone Star. We left the door open all night long there.
Honey's jumping the gun because we were working our way to there. That was our next stop. When we left there and we saw all we wanted to see, and we stayed our 7 days, and I said, baby, we're leaving tomorrow. And he said, all right. We got up and we went right outside of Kanab. And when you get outside of Kanab, we were going to stay at the Monument Staircase. There's a boondocking area somewhere out there. Y'all, don't do it. That is like 10 miles of tear up your car with little room to turn around.
And we went about 5 of those miles inland.
And we could see it, and I was like, just turn around. Yeah, because when we got back out, everything's like shook to death and everywhere. So we went a little further, and we went to one of the BLM stations. Like they have these, like a visitor center at BLM station. And they were like, oh yeah, you can boondock camp, or you can also stay at this campground at this national park campground area. And that was Lone Rock Campground. That, you guys, was tricky, scary, but awesome at the same time, because the campground is like literally on a beach. Think of beach sand. Think of where you get the packed beach sand where you can drive on it, and then the soft beach sand where you just spin out. And it had places like that all over the place. So you had to kind of pay attention where you're driving, because you're taking your rig out there.
Sure.
And you don't want to get stuck, because people were just getting stuck in cars, right? So you want to make sure that you're going someplace that makes sense. And the gate, there's nobody manning the gate. So paying is like on the honor system. So be honest, guys. But it's only like $14 a night, and you can stay. And so we were there for like 3 days, and that was awesome. And like he said, we opened up the windows, we slept with the door closed, because it's right there on the beach. So the water, it's a lake. I don't remember the name of the lake.
It's a man-made type lake, but has a beach front, and it definitely was way deeper than what we thought.
Because it was boats out there. It was people on boats.
People actually buried their rig in the sand. But I mean, I would just suggest on that particular place, don't take your rig out there if you guys
or walk out there first and find a space that you're okay with, and
we asked,
and you kind of stepped on it, and you said, okay, well, this is good, and stay where everybody is. Everybody's pretty spread out, but don't try to go rogue way over here. There's nobody over there for a reason. Right. So don't go over there. And while we were there, we got a chance to go to Horseshoe Bend, which is a wonder of the world.
It is.
It is absolutely beautiful. And it's on Indian land, so you have to pay to park. And it's like, when we went, it was $10.
I'm really glad that I got a chance to witness that particular spot, because it was just something magical about being, not even necessarily magical, but it was just something different about being in that spot, to see something that I've seen my entire life, either in a textbook or on television.
On YouTube videos. And then we wanted to go to South Antelope Island, which is also owned by Native Americans, but it's $95 for the tour, and it's through the Antelope Canyon. But we didn't get a chance to take it, so who knows what we'll be able to do this year. Maybe if that's the only thing we're going to do in the area and we're in that area, we'll take it. But yes, so we left there. We headed into Colorado, and we stopped in Cortez. We've already talked about that, in that old Boo National Park. But after then, we went to Telluride, and that was cool. Now, the only thing I regret is not taking the $1 Million Highway and seeing all the other little towns on the trail that after you leave Telluride you go to. We went back the way we came, because the weather was starting to get pretty cold, and those places, things snow early, so we had to get going. It was September, but the fall was a fall like I have never known in my life. The colors were spectacular. It was almost as if you were looking at the colors in a movie of some kind. It was absolutely beautiful.
I have never and I know you guys probably heard me say that previously in the video, but I have never seen anything like that ever in my life.
Me neither. Me neither. And that was gorgeous. And then after then, we met some more friends in Colorado Springs. And then that pretty much ended our tour because after that we were almost, we were close enough to Nashville. So the goal was just to get back to Nashville. And then when we got here, we worked a little bit. And the Lord has really, really blessed us in 1,000 ways we could not even go on and on about in this video because I know it's been almost an hour for this already. So I won't go into that. You could just check out our other video on our testimony and on our new home. And so this year we've learned a lot, we've done a lot, we've seen a lot. And for me personally, I do not regret our decision to leave and become full-timers. I do not. I do recommend if you're going to do it, own your home and own your car.
I definitely agree with
those
that.
two.
I think that could be like a separate video in itself because those could definitely, break down realities of really living a full-time RV life.
And I think that's what make a lot of people not enjoy it because when you hit the road and you got so much overhead you have to meet every month, if you're not still working a 9-to-5 job where you're doing it remotely, you leave looking for work, right? So travel and leisure is like third. It's not even secondary. It's third because the first will be here before you know it. And those bills, they roll around like clockwork. So to enjoy this lifestyle, you need to own your home, not a house. I'm talking about your rig, your RV. Own your car. And be willing to downsize. Let go some stuff, right? Because after a while, you realize that you can function on not that much, right? You don't need a whole lot. We met some people living in the car, in a van. We met some people who have tents. I mean, that's their full-time dwelling. They live in a tent. And it's not because they're poor or can't afford a home. It's by choice, right?
I've seen some people lay and camp in some pretty
and trust
nice
me,
cars.
they have to have a little bit of money because even campsites for tent sites are not cheap. When we were in Ely, they were like $30 a night, right? So, and that's you bringing your own home and just putting it on their grass. So, this lifestyle is not a cheap one, but it can be affordable if you start out owning your home and your truck. That way, if you have to work camp, the money you make is not going out the door as soon as you make it, right? Because that's what the 9-to-5 does. It keeps the roof over your head and the car in the driveway. And so you're cutting all those things down and you're living the basics, right? You don't need a whole lot of food, and because you don't have a lot of space to go and stockpile, right? You don't need a whole lot of clothes because in a camper, the bigger the rig, the more closet space you get. And so they're not making these. Well, they are probably now, but the idea of this was not for you to live full time in it, right? It was a recreational vehicle. That's what an RV is, right? But now I'm sure that so many people have jumped on the bandwagon of living in an RV. They might be making a little bit bigger closet, a little bit more sturdy toilet, a little bit more space in the shower.
Right.
They might be doing that to accommodate full-timers.
They are, because they know people, are living full-time. I would say this one, Journey definitely was
a weekender.
She was camping. I loved her.
A 110% weekender.
But this one is more like a couples camper that is full time, and it has all the things that a full time RV would have. Would I even want to stay in a Four Seasons RV? Not necessarily, because I wouldn't even really want to be anywhere where it's cold.
Well, this is a Four Seasons stuff.
Well, what I mean is I wouldn't want to be anywhere cold is what I was trying to get at, because...
Well, colder than Nashville, because it can be pretty nippy
it can be
here.
Pretty brisk.
But I would love to be somewhere where we could go outside and do a little snowboarding. Not live there for a long time, but kind of can go and enjoy some winter fun and then get out. But he's saying no. But if the
If we were
opportunity
traveling
arises,
just to a place, without the RV, then yeah.
oh no, we gotta bring it home.
But because we have to take this, I don't want to be anywhere where it's that type
Well,
of
let me
snow.
tell you this. After a while, you can't wait to get home. I tell you that much. There's no place like home. It's no place like your own place, right? And so I enjoy being here. I enjoy being home. I enjoy waking up to being in here. It is home. This is it. This is the inheritance. And so I'm really excited to see what this summer's going to bring. We're working on our travel plans. I'm really bad at doing that sort of thing up front because when you book stuff, it kind of locks you in, and I want a little bit of freedom to change my mind if I want to, or change directions. So I kind of know the direction we're going in. Once we pull out here in a week, we're leaving on the 19th. Everybody has been put on notice that needs to know that we'll be leaving on the 19th. And so I'm excited. I am very excited. I will miss the kids. I miss the grandkids. I love them dearly. But they can come where we are if they want. They're more than welcome. We love to show them around. But at the same time, we won't be locked in that we can't swing back around if we wanted to. We just are not coming back to Nashville to stay. And so I am excited to see what this year brings. I'm excited to see the new people we'll meet. I'm excited that the places we'll go. It's just an adventure, and I'm ready to take it. I'm ready to do it. And so, like anything, we'd love to have your support. So if you'd like to join our Patreon family, I will put a link to that in the description. We'd love to have you subscribe and follow our journey and see where we're going next. So make sure you hit that subscription button and that notification bell. So whenever we post videos like this one, you'll know, and you can come and watch it and show your support that way. And Noodle would just love it if you look at his little shorts, because that's his version of videos. Right now he's sleeping again. It's raining, so he has a problem with the rain, but he'll be okay once the TV comes on. It kind of drowns it out. But
also, guys, make sure you go over to my channel and check out
Hosey
Hosey
Travels.
This is my new t-shirt that Erica kind of designed for me. And
the crazy part is, we look at things in two different perspectives, right? We're together, but not really, right? So when we're walking around parks and places, he looks at things that maybe I didn't see or I'm not interested in, but he's interested in. So our channels do have a different perspective. So
sometimes you may see me in her video, but
and me and his.
Because we chose to do it that way, and it's because it kind of makes sense, because Erica can do more recording of both of us than I can, trying to make sure this all arrives in one safe place.
Yeah. But I just don't want you to sleep on his channel thinking that they're in the same trip. Same thing. It really isn't. Because
if you don't see me in her video, it's because
he's off doing his own thing.
That's the reason
and
why.
We don't want to be talking in the background of each other's video, because trust me, that has happened. So we just want to thank you guys for suffering it out with us and showing us your love and support. We really appreciate it. And we are excited to be hitting the road soon, and our videos are gonna start to pick up. We're gonna start doing more and more things where we're gonna be keeping you involved in what's happening with us. And we just appreciate you sticking it out with us this year and going on this journey with us. And you can check out any of the videos that we've done in the past. I've stacked them all in a playlist that says adventures, and you can go and look at the playlist of the adventures. And we just want to say thank you guys, and we will see you in the next video, because this one has been almost an hour. Can you believe it?
I don't feel like it, but
we can ramble, honey.
We can go
Trust
on
me
about a lot of things, and I still think in this video we didn't cover everything that we may have learned.
It's a crash course in what we did.
But over a year, quickly, that was a synopsis of what we've kind of been through. Learning wise, that could be another video. And I can maybe show you guys some things on my channel that I've learned as well. And Erica could be featured there too. So.
Yeah, he does more technical stuff. I'm more of a crash course. This is what we did, kind of.
Yeah.
If you want to hear more about it, go see the video. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you very, 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 very soon in our next video. Thank you, and you never know where we might end up this summer.
That's true.
And we're excited about it because we don't know either. All right. Say bye, Noodle.
Thank
Say
you,
bye.
guys.
Say bye, Noodle. Say bye, Sugar Boogie.